Admiral Corva stood on the command deck of his massive warship. His 4 eyes looked down at the blue planet below. Earth. The humans called it home. He had studied them for many years. They were weak creatures. They fought among themselves. They destroyed their own world with pollution. They had no unity. They would be easy to break. "Admiral," said his second officer. "All weapons are ready. The fleet is in position." Corva smiled. His sharp teeth showed. "Good. Target the largest city in that region. The one they call Sol." The officer nodded and sent the command. 20 warships moved into attack formation. Their weapons glowed with terrible energy. The Velcor Empire had conquered 100 worlds. Earth would be number 101. Down on the surface, it was a normal Tuesday morning. Jinho walked to his office building with a cup of coffee in his hand. The streets of Seoul were busy. Cars honked. People rushed to work. Children walked to school. Nobody looked up at the sky. Why would they? The sky was always the same. Jinho was a simple man. He worked in an office. He had a small apartment. He called his mother every Sunday. He had no idea that his life was about to change forever. The first beam hit the center of the city at exactly 9:15 in the morning. There was no warning. No alarm. Just a flash of white light, brighter than the sun. Then the sound came. A roar so loud that it broke every window for 50 kilometers. Jinho was thrown to the ground. His coffee spilled everywhere. He could not hear anything. His ears rang with a high sound. He looked up and saw something impossible. Half the city was gone. Where tall buildings once stood, there was only fire and smoke. A crater the size of a mountain sat in the middle of Seoul. More beams fell. One after another. Each one destroyed entire neighborhoods. People ran in every direction. They screamed. They cried. They did not understand what was happening. How could they? Nothing like this had ever happened before. Jinho ran. He did not know where he was going. He just ran. Around him, the world was ending. Buildings fell like toys. The ground shook with each new explosion. The sky turned black with smoke and ash. In orbit, Admiral Corva watched with satisfaction. The destruction was beautiful. Efficient. Clean. "How many dead?" he asked. "Approximately 3 million in the first strike," the officer reported. "Another 2 million in the following attacks. The city is destroyed." 8. Excellent. Send the message to their leaders. Tell them to surrender, or we will do the same to every city on their planet. The message was sent. It appeared on every screen on Earth, every television, every phone, every computer. The alien face of Admiral Corva filled the screens. His voice was translated into every human language. "People of Earth, I am Admiral Corva of the Velcor Empire. Your city of Seoul has been destroyed. This is not a war. This is a lesson. You have 2 choices. Surrender your planet to us and live as our servants. Or resist and die. You have 24 hours to decide. Choose wisely." The message ended. Silence fell over the world. Then came the panic. People screamed in the streets. Governments held emergency meetings. Military forces mobilized. But what could they do? The enemy was in space. Humanity had no weapons that could reach them. Deep under the mountains of Korea, there was a place that did not appear on any map. It was buried under a kilometer of rock. It had been built in secret over 50 years. Very few people knew it existed. General Hana sat in the command center of this secret base. She was 60 years old. Her hair was gray, her face was hard. She had served in the military for 40 years. She had seen many things, but she had never seen anything like this. Around her, screens showed the destruction of Seoul. She watched in silence. Her hands did not shake. Her eyes did not water. She had trained for this moment her entire life. She had hoped it would never come. But it had. "General," said a young officer named Tae-woo. "The president is on the line. He wants to know our options." Hana did not answer immediately. She looked at the screens, at the alien ships in orbit, at the burning ruins of Seoul. 3 million people dead in seconds. Families destroyed. Children killed. All because some alien empire decided that Earth was their next target. Tell the president, Hana said slowly, that we do not surrender. Tell him that we have been preparing for this day for a very long time. Tell him that these aliens have made a terrible mistake. Taewoo looked confused. General, what do you mean? We have no weapons that can fight them. Hana smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret. A terrible secret. That is what they think, she said. That is what everyone thinks. But they are wrong. 50 years ago, we found something. Something not from this world. We have been studying it, building from it, preparing. She stood up and walked to a red panel on the wall. She placed her hand on it. The panel scanned her palm. A computer voice spoke. Identity confirmed. General Hana. Access granted. A section of the wall slid open. Behind it was a single red button under a glass cover. For 50 years, we kept this secret, Hana said. We built ships. We made weapons. We trained soldiers. All in secret. All waiting for the day when Earth would face a threat from beyond the stars. She lifted the glass cover. The aliens think we are weak. They think we are primitive. They think they can bomb our cities, and we will kneel. Her finger touched the button. They are about to learn the truth about humanity. She pressed the button. All around the world, in hidden bases under mountains and oceans, lights turned on. Machines that had been sleeping for decades came to life. Engines that had never been tested began to hum. In the ruins of Seoul, Jinho found shelter in a subway tunnel. He was covered in dust and blood. His ears still rang. He did not know if his family was alive. He did not know if anyone was alive. His phone buzzed. He looked at it. A message from an unknown number. Do not lose hope. The enemy will learn. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not forget. Humanity does not forgive. Indigrest. And getting, Jinho did not understand the message. But somehow, it made him feel something he had lost. Hope. In orbit, Admiral Korva waited for the human surrender. He was confident. He had done this many times before. Every species broke after seeing their cities burn. Humans would be no different, but the surrender did not come. Instead, something strange happened. His sensors detected energy signatures appearing all over Earth. Hundreds of them. Then thousands. Energy signatures that should not exist. Technology that humans should not have. What is this? Korva demanded. What are those readings? His officer checked the data. His face went pale. Admiral, those are ship signatures. Warship signatures. Thousands of them. Korva laughed. Impossible. The humans have no space fleet. They can barely reach their own moon. Sir, the readings are confirmed. There are ships emerging from the planet. From underground. From underwater. From everywhere. The Admiral looked at the screen. His 4 eyes widened. Rising from the clouds of Earth, glowing with power, came ships. Human ships. Ships that should not exist. Ships that matched his own fleet in size. Ships that outnumbered his fleet 10 to 1. For the first time in his long career, Admiral Korva felt fear. On the command deck of the lead human ship, Commander Jinho stood tall. The same Jinho who had been running through the burning streets just hours ago. He had been activated. Called to his true duty, the duty he had trained for in secret for 15 years. He looked at the alien fleet on his screen. His eyes were cold. You bombed our home, he said quietly. You killed our people. You thought we were weak. He turned to his crew. Show them how wrong they were. The world had changed in a single day. Yesterday, humans thought they were alone in the universe. Yesterday, they worried about traffic and bills and work. Today, they knew the truth. They were not alone. and they were under attack. But something else had changed too. Something that gave humanity hope. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, a massive structure began to rise. It had been built in secret over 3 decades. Thousands of workers had constructed it, without knowing what it was for. They were told it was a research station. They were told it was for studying the ocean. They believed the lie because the truth was too impossible. Lieutenant Tae-woo stood in the control room of this underwater base. He was young, only 28 years old. He had been recruited from the Navy 5 years ago. He had trained for this moment every day since then. But the training never felt real. It felt like a game, a simulation. Now it was real. Now the aliens were in orbit. Now, Seoul was gone. All systems are online, reported a technician named Yuna. She was small, with short hair and sharp eyes. Her fingers moved across the control panels with perfect speed. The fleet is ready to launch. Tae-woo nodded. He looked at the main screen. It showed the underwater hangar. Row after row of ships sat in the dark water. They were beautiful, silver and sleek. Weapons bristled from their hulls. Engines glowed with blue light. "How many ships do we have?" Tae-woo asked. "In this base alone, 237, Yuna answered. "Similar numbers are launching from bases around the world. North America has 300 ships. Europe has 180. China has 400. Russia has 250. That is over 1,000 ships total. 1,472. To be exact." Tae-woo took a deep breath. 1,400 ships. For 50 years, humanity had built a secret fleet. They had found alien technology in a crashed ship. They had studied it, learned from it, built their own versions, all in secret, all without the public knowing. "Begin launch sequence," Tae-woo commanded. The hangar doors opened. Ocean water rushed out as the ships activated their shields. One by one, they rose from the depths. Their engines pushed against gravity. They broke through the surface of the ocean and climbed into the sky. Around the world, the same thing was happening. In the frozen north, ships burst from beneath glaciers. In the deserts, they rose from underground hangars hidden beneath the sand. In mountain ranges, entire peaks split open to reveal the weapons within. In her secret base, General Hana watched it all. Screens showed ships launching from every continent. After 50 years of preparation, humanity was finally ready to fight. "What is our total fleet strength?" she asked. "Active combat ships, 1,472. Support vessels, 800. Orbital defense platforms, 360. Planetary shields are powering up. They will be fully operational in 6 hours." Hana nodded. "Good. And the orbital grid?" Yuna's voice came through the communication system. "The grid is coming online now, General. I am personally overseeing the activation." The orbital defense grid was their most secret weapon. It was a network of satellites hidden among the thousands of normal satellites that circled Earth. They looked like communication satellites. Weather satellites, nothing special, but they were not satellites at all. They were weapons platforms. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon. "Activate the grid," Hana commanded. In orbit, the hidden satellites began to change. Panels slid open, weapons extended. Targeting systems came online. Within minutes, a ring of death surrounded Earth. Any enemy ship that tried to approach would face a wall of fire. Admiral Korva watched in horror as his sensors screamed warnings. His fleet was no longer alone in space. Human ships were everywhere. They rose from the planet like angry insects. They surrounded his fleet in a growing cloud of steel and weapons. "This is impossible," he whispered. "This cannot be real." But it was real. Every scan confirmed it. The humans had ships, real warships with technology that matched his own. Some of their weapons were even more advanced than his. "Admiral, what are your orders?" his officer asked. There was fear in his voice. Korva did not answer. He was trying to understand what had happened. The humans were supposed to be primitive. They were supposed to surrender. Every species surrendered after seeing their cities burn, every single one. But not the humans. Instead of falling to their knees, they had risen from the earth with weapons of war. Instead of begging for mercy, they had revealed a fleet that dwarfed his own. This was wrong. This was all wrong. "Admiral," his officer said again, "the human ships are forming attack formations. They are preparing to engage." Corva finally found his voice. "All ships, defensive positions, prepare for combat." It was the only order he could give. But he knew it would not be enough. He had brought 20 warships. The humans had over 1,000. The math was simple. The math was death. On the lead human battleship, Commander Jinho watched the alien fleet scramble. He felt no satisfaction, no joy. Seoul was still burning. Millions of people were still dead. His own parents had lived in that city. He did not know if they had survived. He could not check. Not now. Not until this was over. "All ships report ready," said his weapons officer, a man named Dongyun, "awaiting your command." Jinho looked at the alien ships. They were big. They were powerful. They had destroyed Seoul in minutes. They thought they could destroy all of Earth. They were wrong. "Open a channel to the enemy fleet," Jinho ordered. The communication officer nodded. "Channel open, sir," Jinho spoke. His voice was calm, cold. Every word was like ice. "Admiral Corva. This is Commander Jinho, of the Earth Defense Fleet. You attacked our world without warning. You killed millions of innocent people. You demanded our surrender." He paused. "We do not surrender. We do not negotiate with murderers. You have one chance. Leave our system now, and we will let you go. Stay, and we will destroy you." The response came quickly. Corva's face appeared on the screen. His 4 eyes were full of anger. "You dare threaten me? You are insects. Your primitive world is nothing. The Velcor Empire has conquered 100 planets. We will crush you like we crushed all the others." Jinho did not flinch. "Then you have made your choice." He cut the communication. "All ships," he said, "attack." The battle began. Human ships surged forward. Their weapons fired. Beams of energy crossed the darkness of space. Missiles streaked toward the alien fleet. The aliens fired back. Space became a storm of light and death. The first alien ship exploded, then another, then 3 more. The humans fought with a fury the Velcor had never seen. They attacked without fear. They attacked without hesitation. Every ship that fell was immediately replaced by 2 more. Admiral Corva watched his fleet die. Ship after ship exploded around him. His weapons killed human ships too. But there were too many of them. For every human ship destroyed, 10 more took its place. "Retreat!" he finally screamed. "All ships, retreat!" But it was too late for most of them. Only 6 ships managed to jump away. 14 were destroyed. Over 50,000 Velcor soldiers died in less than an hour. When the battle ended, Commander Jinho stood among the wreckage. Pieces of alien ships floated in the darkness. Bodies drifted among the debris. The enemy fleet was gone, but the war was not over. "Track those ships," Jinho ordered. "Find out where they are going." "Sir," Donghyun said, "our sensors show they are heading toward their home space." "The Velcor Empire is 3 star systems away," Jinho nodded slowly. "Good. Now we know where to find them." He turned to his crew. Their faces were tired but determined. They had won the first battle. They had proven that humanity would not fall easily. But they all knew this was only the beginning. "Send a message to General Hana," Jinho said. "Tell her the enemy fleet is broken. 6 ships escaped. We are ready to pursue." Back on Earth, General Hana received the message. She allowed herself a small moment of pride. They had done it. They had beaten the aliens in open combat. But she knew Jinho was right. This was only the beginning. "Call the World Council," she ordered. "Tell them we have a decision to make." 2 hours later, the leaders of every nation on Earth met in a virtual conference. They had been enemies before. They had fought each other for centuries. But now they faced something bigger than their old wars. They faced an enemy from the stars. General Hana addressed them all. We have won the first battle. But the Velcor Empire is vast. They will send more ships. Bigger fleets. If we only defend, we will eventually lose. We must take the fight to them. We must show them that attacking Earth has consequences. The leaders debated for hours. Some wanted peace, some wanted revenge, some were afraid. In the end, they voted. The result was unanimous. Humanity would not wait for the next attack. Humanity would strike first. General Hana smiled her cold smile. Prepare the fleet, she said. We are going to war. 72 hours had passed since the attack on Seoul. 3 days that changed everything. The world was no longer the same. Humanity was no longer the same. The human fleet gathered at the edge of Earth's solar system. It was a sight that no one had ever seen before. Over 2,000 ships now floated in formation. More had been launched from the secret bases. More would come soon. The factories that had been silent for decades were now working day and night. Building new ships, new weapons, new tools of war. Commander Jinho stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Seoul's Memory. The ship had been renamed after the attack. It was a promise. A reminder. Seoul would never be forgotten. The dead would be avenged. All ships report ready, said Dongyun, his weapons officer. The fleet is prepared to jump. Jinho nodded. This would be humanity's first journey to another star system. For centuries, humans had dreamed of traveling to the stars. They had written stories about it, made movies about it. Now it was real. But this was not a journey of exploration. This was not a journey of peace. This was war. Send the signal, Jinho ordered. We jump in 5 minutes. The signal went out to every ship in the fleet. Engines powered up. Navigation systems locked onto the target coordinates. The Velcor homeworld was 3 star systems away. It would take several jumps to reach it, but they would reach it, no matter how long it took. On Earth, General Hana watched the fleet prepare to leave. She would stay behind to coordinate the defense of Earth. They could not leave their home unprotected. But a large part of her wished she could go with them. She wanted to see the enemy's face when human ships appeared in their sky. General, said Yuna, who had been transferred to Hana's command center. All defense systems are at full power. Earth is secure. Good. Keep the orbital grid active. We do not know if the Velcor have already sent reinforcements. Yuna nodded and returned to her station. She worked without rest. Like everyone else. Sleep was a luxury no one could afford right now. In space, the countdown reached 0. Jump, Jinho commanded. 2,000 ships disappeared in a flash of light. They entered a dimension that humans barely understood. A shortcut through space. A doorway to distant stars. The technology had come from the alien ship that crashed on Earth 50 years ago. It had taken decades to understand it, to build their own versions. Now, it would carry them to war. The first jump took them to a system with no name. Just a number. A waypoint on the way to the enemy. The ships emerged from the jump and immediately began scanning for threats. No enemy contacts, reported the sensor officer. The system is empty. Jinho felt a small relief. He had worried that the Velcor would be waiting for them, that they had been led into a trap. But the space around them was quiet. Dark. Empty. Prepare for the second jump. We continue in 10 minutes. The fleet moved through space. Stars surrounded them, beautiful and cold. Jinho had always loved looking at the stars as a child. He never thought he would be flying among them. He never thought he would be going to war among them. Commander, Dongyun said, I have a question. Ask. What happens after we win? If we win? Jinho thought about it. It was a good question. What did happen after? Did they destroy the Velcor completely? Did they make peace? Did they become conquerors themselves? We make sure they can never threaten Earth again, he finally said. Beyond that, I do not know. That is for people smarter than me to decide. The second jump came and went. Then the third. Each time, the fleet emerged in empty space. Each time, they scanned for enemies. Each time, they found nothing. Finally, they reached the fourth jump point, the Velcor home system. "This is it," Jinho said to his crew. "Beyond this jump is the enemy. We do not know what we will find. They may have a massive fleet waiting for us. They may have weapons we have never seen, but I know one thing." He looked at each of them. "We did not start this war. They attacked us. They killed our people. They thought we were weak. We are here to prove them wrong. We are here to show them that humanity does not break. Humanity fights back." The crew cheered. "Jump," Jinho ordered. The fleet vanished into light. They emerged in the Velcor home system. And immediately, alarms began to scream. "Contact! Multiple contacts!" shouted the sensor officer. "Enemy ships everywhere." Jinho looked at the tactical display. His heart sank. The Velcor fleet was massive. Hundreds of ships. Maybe thousands. They had gathered their entire military to defend their home. "How many?" he asked. 3,200 ships, sir. They outnumber us significantly. 3,000 against 2,000. Bad odds. Very bad odds. But then, Jinho noticed something. The Velcor ships were not moving to attack. They were holding position. Waiting. Why? The answer came seconds later. "A communication signal. They want to talk," said the communications officer. "Should I answer?" Jinho hesitated. What could there be to talk about? But curiosity won. "Put it through." Admiral Corva's face appeared on the screen. But he looked different. The arrogance was gone. In its place was something else. Fear? Desperation? "Human commander," Corva said. "I did not expect you to come here so quickly. Your species is more capable than I thought." "We are full of surprises," Jinho replied. "Why did you signal us?" "To make an offer. A deal." "What kind of deal?" Corva's face twitched. It was clear he hated what he was about to say. "The Velcor Empire offers peace. We will leave Earth alone, forever. In exchange, you leave our space, and never return." Jinho stared at him. "Peace? After what they did? After Seoul? You killed millions of our people," Jinho said. "You destroyed one of our greatest cities. And now you want peace? Ah, war benefits no one. You are strong. Stronger than we expected. But we are strong too. This battle will kill many on both sides. Is that what you want?" Jinho thought about it. Corva was right. A battle here would be costly. Many human soldiers would die. Maybe they would lose. Maybe the Velcor would destroy them all. But then he thought about Seoul. About the families that had been erased in a flash of light. About the children who would never grow up. About the promise he had made to himself when he saw the ruins. "No," Jinho said. "No? No deal. No peace. Not like this." Corva's eyes widened. "Are you insane? You will all die here, maybe. But you started this war. You decided that Earth was an easy target. You were wrong. Now, you will face the consequences." He cut the communication. "All ships," Jinho announced. "Attack formation. Target their largest vessels first. Show no mercy." The human fleet moved forward. 2,000 ships against 3,000. It should have been impossible. It should have been suicide. But humans had something the Velcor did not understand. Something they could not calculate. Something that changed everything. Humans fought harder when the odds were against them. The battle was brutal. Ships exploded on both sides. Weapons fire filled space like a deadly storm. Commander Jinho's ship took damage. Fires broke out. Systems failed, but they kept fighting. "Hull breach on deck 7, someone shouted. "Seal it and continue firing," Jinho ordered. A Velcor battleship appeared in front of them. It was massive. Bigger than anything in the human fleet. Its weapons pointed directly at them. "Sir, we cannot survive a direct hit from that ship." Jinho looked at the battleship. Then he looked at the space behind it. At the Velcor command vessel. "Corva's ship, full speed ahead," he ordered. "Sir, we go through them. Ram them if we have to. Get me to that command ship. The soul's memory surged forward. The Velcor battleship fired. The human ship twisted, dodging some hits, absorbing others. Metal screamed. People screamed. But they kept going. They passed the battleship so close that their shields touched. Then they were through. Open space ahead. And at the end of it, Admiral Korva's command vessel. All weapons, Jinho said. Fire everything. The soul's memory unleashed its full power. Missiles and beams struck Korva's ship again and again. The alien vessel's shields flickered. Failed. The weapons hit the hull directly. On his bridge, Admiral Korva watched his ship die around him. Explosions rocked the deck. Officers screamed. Fires burned everywhere. How? He whispered. How are they doing this? The answer came from the human commander's voice over the communication system. Somehow, through all the destruction, the channel was still open. You wanted to know what happens next, Jinho said. This is what happens next. This is humanity. We do not surrender. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Korva's ship exploded. When the light faded, the battle was over. 1,200 Velcor ships were destroyed. The rest were scattered. Running. The human fleet had lost 600 ships. 12,000 soldiers dead. The cost was high. Too high. But they had won. Commander Jinho sat in his damaged chair on his damaged bridge. Around him, his crew worked to keep the ship alive. They were exhausted. Wounded. Some were crying, but they had won. Send a message to Earth, Jinho said quietly. Tell them the Velcor fleet is broken. Their admiral is dead. We are coming home. He closed his eyes. The war was not over yet. But today, humanity had proven something important. They could win. The victory at the Velcor homeworld changed everything. News spread across the galaxy like wildfire. A primitive species from a small blue planet had crushed one of the most feared empires in known space. Other alien civilizations watched, some with fear, some with hope, all with respect, but humanity did not rest. They could not rest. The Velcor were wounded, but not destroyed. Ships had escaped. Soldiers had survived. If humanity stopped now, the enemy would rebuild. They would return. They would seek revenge, so humanity did not stop. Commander Sora took over the pursuit. She was young, only 32. But she had already proven herself in the battle over the Velcor homeworld. She had led a squadron of ships that destroyed 7 enemy vessels in a single hour. General Hana saw potential in her, deadly potential. Your mission is simple, Hana told her through the communication screen. Hunt down every Velcor ship that escaped. Destroy their bases. Burn their supply lines. Leave them nowhere to hide. Sora nodded. Her face showed no emotion. Her eyes were cold. Understood, General. I will not fail. I know you will not. Sora's fleet consisted of 500 ships, fast ships, hunter ships. They were designed for one purpose, to chase and kill. They would travel light. They would move fast. They would show no mercy. Commander Jinho had returned to Earth with the damaged ships. He needed rest. His fleet needed repairs. But Sora's fleet was fresh. They were hungry. They wanted revenge for Sol. For the millions who died. For the families that would never be whole again. The hunt began. The first target was a Velcor military base in a neighboring system. Intelligence said that 200 enemy ships had gathered there. They were regrouping. Planning. Probably preparing for a counterattack. Sora's fleet jumped into the system without warning. They appeared right on top of the enemy base. The Velcor had no time to react. No time to power up their weapons. No time to run. All ships, fire, Sora commanded. The base disappeared in a storm of explosions. Ships tried to launch. Some made it into space. Most did not. Within 30 minutes, the base was destroyed. All 200 ships were gone. Sora did not celebrate. She did not smile. She simply looked at her navigation officer. Where is the next target? A supply station 2 systems away. Our scouts report 50 ships and a large cargo facility. Set course. We jump in 10 minutes. The fleet moved through space like death itself. They jumped from system to system. Each time, they found enemies. Each time, they destroyed them. The Velcor tried to fight back. They tried to set traps. They tried to ambush the human hunters. It never worked. The humans adapted too fast. They learned too quickly. Every trap the Velcor set, the humans avoided. Every ambush the Velcor planned, the humans turned against them. It was like fighting water. No matter what you did, it found a way through. In the 3rd week of the hunt, Sora's fleet cornered a group of 50 Velcor warships near a gas giant. The aliens had nowhere to run. Their backs were against the planet's gravity well. If they tried to jump, they would be pulled apart. Velcor Commander, Sora said through the communication channel. You are surrounded. Your weapons are weaker than ours. Your ships are damaged. You have 2 choices. Surrender, and you will be taken prisoner. Your crews will be treated fairly. Fight, and you will all die. The choice is yours. There was silence for a long moment. Then a response came. The Velcor commander appeared on the screen. He was old for his species. His skin was gray and wrinkled. His 4 eyes were tired. Why do you offer mercy? He asked. We attacked your world. We killed your people. Why not simply destroy us? Sora considered the question. It was a good one. Many in her fleet would have preferred to just fire, to end it quickly. But Sora had been thinking about this war. About what humanity was becoming. Because we are not like you, she finally said. You attacked without warning. You killed civilians, children, families. You showed no mercy. But that is not who humans are. We fight hard. We fight to win. But we do not become monsters to defeat monsters. The old commander stared at her for a long time. Then, slowly, he nodded. We surrender. The Velcor ships powered down their weapons. One by one, they opened their hangars. Shuttles carried the prisoners to human vessels. Over 3,000 Velcor soldiers became prisoners of war that day. Word of the surrender spread. Other Velcor ships heard about it. They heard that the humans treated prisoners fairly. That they gave them food and medicine. That they did not torture or kill. Some saw this as weakness, but many saw it as something else. Something they had never experienced before. Hope. More surrenders followed. Small groups at first, then larger ones. Velcor soldiers who were tired of fighting. Velcor officers who knew the war was lost. They came forward. They put down their weapons. They trusted the humans to keep their word. And the humans did, but not all Velcor were willing to surrender. There were those who still believed they could win. Who still hated humanity. With every fiber of their being. Who would rather die than kneel to a species they considered inferior? These were the ones Sora hunted most aggressively. The worst was a commander named Vortak. He had been Admiral Korva's second-in-command. He had escaped the battle at the homeworld. Now he led a fleet of 200 ships, the last major Velcor military force in the region. Vortak was cruel. He attacked human supply lines. He destroyed medical ships. He killed wounded soldiers who were being transported back to Earth. He was a war criminal by any definition. Find him, General Hana ordered. End him. Sora searched for 3 months. Vortak was clever. He never stayed in one place. He hit and ran. He hid in asteroid fields and nebulae. He used the terrain of space to his advantage. But Sora was patient. She tracked his movements. She studied his patterns. She laid traps of her own. Finally, in a dark system on the edge of Velcor space, she found him. Vortak's fleet was hiding in the shadow of a dead planet. They thought they were safe. They thought no one could find them there. They were wrong. Sora's fleet emerged from jump all around them. There was no escape this time. No clever tricks. No asteroid fields to hide in. Vortak, Sora said through the communication channel. "This is Commander Sora of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are surrounded. You have committed crimes against humanity. You have killed our wounded. You have destroyed our hospitals. You have no honor." Vortak's face appeared on the screen. He was smiling. A cruel, ugly smile. "Human female," he said. "You think you have won? You think this is over? The Velcor Empire is ancient. We have survived 1,000 threats. We will survive you." "No," Sora said. "You will not. You cannot kill an empire. Maybe not. But I can kill you." She gave the order. The battle lasted 2 hours. Vortak fought hard. His ships were veterans. They knew how to fight. They knew how to die. In the end, only his flagship remained. It was damaged beyond repair. Fires burned on every deck. Life support was failing. But Vortak refused to surrender. "Come and get me, human," he growled through the communication. "I will kill you myself." Sora considered her options. She could simply destroy the ship from a distance. It would be easy. Safe. Smart. But she wanted Vortak to know who ended him. She wanted him to see a human face before he died. "Prepare a boarding party," she ordered. "I am going over there personally." Her officers protested. It was too dangerous. The enemy commander was desperate. He would do anything to kill her. Sora did not care. She led 50 soldiers onto Vortak's burning ship. They fought through corridors filled with smoke and fire. They killed Velcor soldiers who tried to stop them. They pushed forward, room by room, deck by deck. Finally, they reached the bridge. Vortak stood alone. His officers were dead. His ship was dying, but he held a weapon in each of his 4 hands. His eyes burned with hatred. "You," he said. "You destroyed everything I built, everything I believed in." Sora raised her own weapon. "You killed innocent people. Doctors, nurses, wounded soldiers who could not fight back. You deserved worse than this." Vortak screamed and charged at her. The fight was brief. Sora was faster. Her training was better. When it was over, Vortak lay on the floor of his own bridge, 4 holes in his chest, his 4 eyes staring at nothing. Sora stood over him. She felt no joy, no satisfaction, just a deep tiredness. "It is done," she said into her communicator. "Vortak is dead. Begin evacuation of my team. Then destroy this ship." An hour later, Vortak's flagship exploded. The last major Velcor commander was gone. The last major threat was eliminated. Sora returned to her ship. She went to her quarters. She sat alone in the darkness. She had done terrible things. Necessary things. But terrible all the same. She wondered what kind of person she had become. What kind of person the war had made her. Her communication device beeped. A message from General Hana. "Commander Sora, well done. The Velcor military is broken. Their leaders are dead or captured. The war is almost over. Return to Earth. You have earned your rest." Sora read the message 3 times. The war was almost over. But somehow, she did not feel like celebrating. She had won. But she wondered what she had lost in the process. Still, she gave the order. "Set course for Earth. We are going home." 1 year had passed since the attack on Seoul. 1 year since the world changed. 1 year since humanity learned it was not alone in the universe. It had been a year of war. A year of death. A year of blood and fire and pain. But also a year of victory. The Velcor Empire was defeated. Their military was destroyed. Their leaders were dead or imprisoned. Their homeworld was occupied by human forces. For the first time in their long history, the Velcor had lost a war. They had lost everything. General Hana stood on the surface of the Velcor homeworld. She was dressed in her formal military uniform. Behind her stood the heroes of the war. Commander Jinho, Commander Sora, Lieutenant Taewoo, Engineer Yuna, and thousands more. Soldiers and officers who had fought and bled and sacrificed. In front of her stood cameras, hundreds of them. The broadcast would be seen across the galaxy. Every species, every world, every civilization that had heard of the war would watch this moment. It was time to send a message. People of the galaxy, Hana began. Her voice was strong, clear. It carried the weight of billions of lives. 1 year ago, the Velcor Empire attacked our planet. They bombed our cities. They killed our people. They believed we were weak. They believed we would surrender. They believed we would kneel. She paused. Let the words sink in. They were wrong. Behind her, the human soldiers stood in perfect formation. Their faces were hard. Their eyes were proud. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not break. When they attacked us, we rose. When they tried to destroy us, we became stronger. When they came with their fleet, we met them with our own. And we won. The cameras showed images. The battle over Earth. The destruction of Corva's fleet. The hunt through enemy space. The final defeat of Vortak. Every victory. Every sacrifice. We did not want this war. We never sought to conquer anyone. We were content on our small blue world. But when war came to us, we answered it. We answered it with courage. We answered it with fire. We answered it with the full force of everything humanity can be. Hana looked directly into the main camera. Her eyes seemed to pierce through the screen, to look at every being watching. Let this be a lesson to any species that thinks Earth is an easy target. Let this be a warning to any empire that believes humanity is weak. We remember. We never forget. And we never, ever forgive unprovoked attacks on our home. She turned slightly, gesturing to the ruins of the Velcor capital behind her. Once, it had been a magnificent city. Towers that reached into the clouds, gardens that stretched for kilometers. All of it was destroyed now. Burned. Empty. The Velcor attacked us without warning, without mercy, without reason. This is what remains of their empire. This is the price of aggression. This is what happens when you wake a sleeping species. Commander Jinho stepped forward. He had been asked to speak too. His words would represent all the soldiers who fought, all the families who lost loved ones, all the people who would never forget Seoul. I was there when they bombed Seoul, Jinho said. His voice was quiet, but it carried. I watched the city burn. I watched millions of people die in seconds. I did not know then that I would lead our fleet. I did not know that I would help destroy the enemy that killed my home. He took a breath. War is terrible. We lost many good people, good friends, good family. The cost was high, too high. We do not celebrate this victory. We mourn it. We mourn everyone who died, human and Velcor. All the lives that did not need to end. Commander Sora stepped forward next. Her face was still hard, still cold. But there was something else in her eyes now. Something that had not been there during the hunt. I led the pursuit, she said. I hunted down the enemy across 3 star systems. I killed many. I captured more. Some called me a hero. Others called me a monster. Maybe I am both. War makes monsters of us all. She looked at the cameras. But hear me clearly. We did not start this. We finished it. And if anyone else thinks they can attack humanity and escape punishment, they are wrong. I will find you. I will hunt you. I will end you. Not because I enjoy it, but because Earth must be protected, always. General Hana stepped forward again. It was time for the final words. 1 year ago, we were a planet divided. Countries fought each other. People hated each other. We could not agree on anything. Then the attack came. And suddenly, all our old fights seemed small, meaningless. We had a common enemy, a common purpose, a reason to unite. She smiled. It was a sad smile, but also hopeful. Humanity is not perfect. We fight. We argue. We make mistakes. But when something threatens all of us, we come together. We become one species, one people, one force. That is our strength. That is what the Velcor did not understand. That is what made us unstoppable. The broadcast was being watched by trillions of beings across the galaxy, species that had never heard of Earth before, empires that had conquered hundreds of worlds, small civilizations that had always lived in fear. They all watched. So here is my message to the galaxy, Hana said. We come in peace. We do not want to conquer anyone. We do not want more war. We want to trade, to learn, to grow alongside other species. We want to be friends. Her voice hardened. But if anyone attacks us, we will respond. If anyone threatens Earth, we will destroy them. If anyone thinks that humans are prey, they will discover we are predators. This is not a threat. This is a promise. Earth remembers. Earth forgives nothing. Choose your enemies wisely. The broadcast ended. For a long moment, there was silence across the galaxy. Then the responses began to flood in. Some species sent messages of friendship. They wanted to trade, to form alliances, to share technology and culture. They had seen what humanity could do. They wanted to be on the winning side. Others sent messages of fear. They had been planning to attack Earth themselves. Now they quietly abandoned those plans. They hoped humanity would never learn what they had been considering. A few sent messages of defiance. They were proud species. Warrior species. They could not accept that a primitive world had defeated a galactic empire. But even they were careful. Even they knew better than to actually attack. Earth was safe. 1 month after the broadcast, Jinho visited the site where Sol had been. A memorial was being built there. A wall with the names of every person who died. Millions of names. It would take years to complete. He walked slowly through the construction site. Workers bowed to him as he passed. He was a hero now. The man who led the counterattack. The man who killed Admiral Corva. But he did not feel like a hero. He felt like a survivor. He found a quiet spot and sat down. The sky was blue. The sun was warm. It was hard to believe that this peaceful place had once been a burning crater. Yuna found him there. She had returned to Earth after the war. She was helping rebuild the planetary defense systems, making sure humanity was never caught off guard again. I thought I might find you here, she said. She sat down beside him. I come here often, Jinho admitted. It helps me remember why we fought. They sat in silence for a while, watching the workers build the memorial, watching the wind blow through the grass that had started growing again. Do you think they learned? Yuna asked. The aliens. I mean, do you think they understand now? Jinho considered the question. Some of them. The smart ones. They saw what we did. They will not make the same mistake. And the ones who did not learn? Jinho looked at her. His eyes were still hard, still cold. Even after everything, he had not lost that edge. Then we will teach them, again and again. Until there is no one left who thinks Earth is weak. Yuna nodded. I suppose that is the way it must be, for now. Maybe someday things will be different. Maybe someday we will not need fleets and weapons. Maybe someday, all species will live in peace. He looked up at the sky, at the stars that were now just becoming visible as the sun began to set. But until that day comes, we stay ready. We stay strong. We remember what happened here, and we make sure it never happens again. Yuna smiled. That sounds like a good plan. They sat together as the stars came out. Thousands of them, millions of them, a galaxy full of wonders and dangers, a galaxy that now knew one simple truth. Humanity was not to be challenged. Far away, on a small space station at the edge of known space, a young alien scientist studied the reports from Earth. She had watched the entire war. She had seen the humans rise from nothing to defeat the mighty Velcor. She had heard General Hana's message. Now she was curious. What kind of species was this? What made them so strong? She began to compile her research. History, culture, biology, psychology. Everything she could find about these strange creatures called humans. And the more she learned, the more she realized something important. The humans had not won because they had better ships. They had not won because they had stronger weapons. They had won because of something deeper, something inside them. When everything seemed lost, they kept fighting. When the odds were impossible, they found a way. When faced with extinction, they became more dangerous than anyone could imagine. It was beautiful. Terrifying, but beautiful. She made a note in her research file. Recommendation: never provoke humanity. They are not prey. They are not even predators. They are something else entirely. Something that the galaxy has never seen before. She paused, then added one final sentence. And they are just getting started.